Listen carefully, because this isn't a feel-good talk meant to make you comfortable. This is a reminder of a debt you've been avoiding. Every single day you wake up as a weaker version of the man you could be, that debt grows. You know it. I know it. Deep down, you feel it when you look in the mirror and realize you're not living at your full capacity. Life didn't cheat you. You cheated yourself by choosing comfort over discipline, excuses over action, and fear over responsibility. Today isn't about motivation. It's about accountability. It's about becoming the man you owe yourself after all those wasted mornings, broken promises, and silent regrets. You weren't born to live small, average, and distracted. You were born with potential, and potential is a contract. Every time you skip the work, every time you choose entertainment over improvement, you're breaking that contract. Weak men wait for motivation. Strong men move even when they feel nothing. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You don't rise because you want to rise because you do what most people refuse to do when no one is watching. That's where real power is built. Let's be honest. You already know what you should be doing. You know the workouts you're skipping, the skills you're avoiding, the discipline you're delaying. The problem isn't knowledge. The problem is tolerance for pain. Growth demands discomfort. Discipline demands sacrifice. And greatness demands that you kill the old version of yourself that wants life to be easy. Comfort is seductive, but it's also deadly. It slowly robs you of ambition, sharpness, and respect. First from yourself, then from the world. Every strong man you admire paid a price you haven't been willing to pay yet. They trained when they were tired. They worked when they were bored. They stayed focused when distractions were screaming for attention. That's the difference. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They became the kind of man who creates moments. And if that truth makes you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is the signal that you're finally touching reality. You are living with an unpaid debt. And it's not money, not status, not success. It's the debt you owe to your own potential. Every man is born with a version of himself he is supposed to become, and the moment you realize that version exists, responsibility begins. This isn't philosophy, it's reality. You already know there is more inside you. You feel it when you procrastinate. You feel it when you settle. You feel it late at night when distractions fade and the truth gets loud. That feeling isn't guilt by accident. It's your potential calling you out for staying small. Here's the uncomfortable hook most people avoid. Wasted potential hurts more than failure. Failure teaches. Failure sharpens. But wasted potential slowly eats you alive. It shows up as frustration, anger, low confidence, and that constant sense that life should be more than this. You don't hate your life. You hate that you know you could be better, and you're not doing the work. That internal conflict is the price of ignoring who you're supposed to become. Potential is not a gift, it's a contract. And contracts don't care about excuses. They don't care about your mood, your past, or how unfair life feels. Every day you delay growth, you break that contract. Every day you choose comfort over discipline, you add interest to the debt. That's why time doesn't heal this feeling. It makes it heavier. Years don't fix regret. Action does. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to face the mirror without lying to yourself. Most men try to silence this pressure with distractions. Entertainment, social media, cheap pleasure, temporary validation. But here's the brutal truth. Distraction doesn't remove the debt. It just postpones the payment. And when payment day comes, it comes with force, missed opportunities, lost respect, weak self-image. The man you could have been becomes the man who haunts you. That's not motivation. That's a warning. Here's the shift that separates strong men from broken ones. Strong men stop asking what feels good and start asking what must be done. They understand that potential isn't unlocked by thinking, dreaming, or waiting. It's unlocked by daily execution under pressure. They train when it's inconvenient. They work when no one is clapping. They improve when results are slow. Not because they enjoy it, but because they refuse to live in debt to themselves. You don't need more information. You already know what needs to change. You know the habits you must build, the discipline you must enforce, the standards you must raise. The issue isn't clarity, it's courage. Courage to disappoint the lazy version of yourself. Courage to walk away from ease. Courage to choose growth, even when it costs comfort. That courage is the first payment toward the man you owe yourself. And understand this: paying this debt doesn't happen in one heroic moment. It happens quietly, daily, consistently. One workout when you want to quit, one focused hour when you want to scroll, one hard decision when excuses feel easier. Those small payments compound into self-respect, and self-respect is power. Once you start paying the debt, confidence rises, discipline sharpens, life starts responding differently to you. You don't become dangerous by wishing. You become dangerous by honoring your potential. The man you owe yourself is built when excuses die and standards rise. And the moment you stop running from that debt, the moment you start paying it with effort, pressure, and discipline, something changes inside you. You stop feeling lost. You stop feeling weak. You start becoming inevitable. Comfort is the most dangerous enemy you will ever face because it never announces itself as a threat. It arrives quietly, disguised as peace, balance, and taking it easy. It tells you that you deserve rest before you've earned it, that tomorrow will be a better time to push harder, that there's no rush to become better. And that lie works because comfort doesn't hurt immediately. It feels warm. It feels safe. But over time, it weakens you in ways you don't notice until the damage is done. Most people refuse to hear a comfortable life creates an uncomfortable future. Every shortcut you take today becomes a limitation tomorrow. Every time you avoid pressure, your tolerance for it shrinks. You don't stay the same when you choose comfort. You regress. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Skills don't sharpen without struggle. Character doesn't form without hardship. Comfort removes the very friction required for growth, and without friction, you become soft, predictable, and replaceable. Most men think comfort is something they've earned. They tell themselves they'll work hard later, after they relax, after life slows down, after motivation returns. But comfort has no finish line. Once you step into it, it keeps moving. What felt like rest becomes routine. What felt like a break becomes a lifestyle, and slowly ambition fades. Standards drop. Hunger disappears. Not because you failed, but because you got too comfortable to fight for more. Look closely at your habits. Where do you choose ease over effort? Where do you settle instead of stretch? Those decisions may seem small, but they compound fast. Comfort doesn't destroy you in one moment. It erodes you daily. It steals your edge, your urgency, your aggression. And the worst part, it convinces you that you're fine while you're actually falling behind. Strong men understand something weak men ignore. Discomfort is not punishment. It's proof of progress. The burn in training, the pressure of responsibility, the loneliness of discipline. These are signals that you're evolving. When something feels hard, it means you're leaving the old version of yourself behind. Comfort, on the other hand, keeps you exactly where you are. It traps you in a loop of sameness, where days blur together and potential goes unused. Here's another uncomfortable truth: the world doesn't respect comfort. It respects results. It respects sharpness, discipline, and resilience. No one is impressed by how relaxed you are. They're impressed by what you can handle, what you can build, and what you can endure without breaking. Comfort prepares you for nothing. Pressure prepares you for everything. You don't need to eliminate rest. You need to stop living in it. There's a difference between recovery and escape. Recovery sharpens you so you can return stronger. Escape weakens you so you avoid the fight altogether. The man you owe yourself doesn't chase comfort. He controls it. He chooses when to rest and when to push based on discipline, not desire. If your life feels too easy, that's not a blessing. It's a warning. It means you're not demanding enough from yourself. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort, and every time you step toward it, you reclaim a piece of your strength. Comfort will always be available. Power will not. Motivation is unreliable, emotional, and temporary, and building your life on it is a guaranteed way to stay inconsistent. Motivation comes and goes based on mood, weather, praise, sleep, and circumstances you don't control. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day you feel empty. That's why men who wait to feel ready never become dangerous. Feelings are weak leaders. Discipline is the only system that works when motivation disappears, and it always disappears. Most people need to hear but don't want to accept. If you need motivation to act, you are already losing. Winners don't move when they feel inspired. They move because the work is required. Discipline is the ability to execute under boredom, fatigue, pressure, and doubt. It's cold, it's repetitive, and that's exactly why it separates the elite from the average. Anyone can work when they feel good. Very few can work when they feel nothing. Discipline is not about intensity, it's about standards. It's deciding in advance how you operate, regardless of emotion. When discipline replaces motivation, excuses disappear. You stop negotiating with yourself. You don't ask, do I feel like it today? You ask, what must be done? That shift alone changes everything. It turns progress into a system instead of a gamble. Most men fail because they rely on emotional spikes. They wait for a video, a speech, a song, or a moment of inspiration to push them forward. But motivation is a drug. It gives you a temporary high with no long-term structure. Discipline is different. Discipline builds momentum quietly. It doesn't hype you up, it locks you in. And once discipline is in place, you no longer depend on external fuel. You become self-powered. Look at your life honestly. On the days you felt motivated, you probably started strong. But what happened when it got boring? When progress slowed? When results didn't show up immediately? That's where motivation dies. Discipline doesn't care about results in the short term. It understands that consistency creates results, not excitement. That's why disciplined men keep winning long after motivated men quit. Discipline also builds identity. Every time you do what you said you would do, especially when you don't want to, you reinforce trust in yourself. That self-trust becomes confidence. Not loud confidence, not fake confidence. Real confidence that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself under pressure. And once a man has that, he becomes hard to shake, hard to distract, and hard to stop. Here's another hard truth. Discipline feels like restriction at first, but it creates freedom. When you control your actions, you control your outcomes. When you control your outcomes, you control your life. Motivation gives you moments. Discipline gives you a future. One is emotional, the other is structural. One fades, the other compounds. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means commitment. It means showing up even when performance isn't perfect. It means continuing even when progress feels invisible. That's where most men fall off. Not because they can't do the work, but because they can't tolerate the silence before results arrive. Discipline teaches patience. Patience builds power. The man you owe yourself is not built on hype. He's built on routines, non-negotiables, and standards that don't change based on mood. When discipline replaces motivation, you stop chasing inspiration and start creating inevitability. You no longer hope things will work out. You know they will because you've removed emotion from the process and replaced it with execution. No one is coming to save you, and the sooner you accept that, the faster your life changes. This is the hook most people avoid because it removes every comfortable excuse. There is no mentor arriving at the perfect time, no opportunity knocking twice, no moment where life suddenly becomes fair. Waiting to be rescued is a silent form of surrender. The world rewards men who take responsibility, not men who wait for permission. The day you stop expecting help is the day you start becoming powerful. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Blaming circumstances feels good because it protects the ego. It allows you to believe you could have succeeded. If only things were different. If only you had more support. If only you had more money. If only someone showed you the way. But that mindset keeps you weak. Responsibility is heavy, but it's also liberating. When you accept that everything in your life is your responsibility, you reclaim control. Victimhood feels safe. Ownership builds strength. Most men secretly wait for motivation, validation, or approval before they move. They want someone to say, now it's your turn. That moment never comes. Leaders don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. They act before confidence shows up. They move before clarity arrives. And in that movement, confidence and clarity are built. Action creates belief, not the other way around. Understand this hook clearly. Responsibility is the source of power. The moment you say, this is on me, your focus sharpens. Excuses disappear, energy returns. You stop wasting time complaining about problems and start solving them. The man who takes responsibility doesn't ask why life is hard. He asks what must be done next. That mindset alone puts you ahead of most people. Look at your current situation honestly. Where are you waiting instead of building? Where are you hoping instead of preparing? Where are you blaming instead of improving? Those areas reveal where you've given your power away. No one stole it from you. You handed it over by refusing responsibility. Take it back. No ceremony required, just decision followed by action. Responsibility also means accepting the cost of growth. There will be no applause when you start, no sympathy when it gets hard, no shortcuts when you're tired. And that's exactly why it works. When you stop relying on external support, you develop internal strength. You learn to regulate yourself. You learn to push through resistance. You learn to stand alone without breaking. That's the foundation of real confidence. Most people miss help comes faster to men who don't need it. When you take responsibility, you become reliable. When you become reliable, opportunities appear. The world aligns with those who move decisively, but it ignores those who hesitate. This isn't unfair, it's efficient. Life invests in people who invest in themselves. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you stop complaining about the struggle. It means you stop asking, why me? And start saying, watch me. That shift changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you work. People feel it. Doors open not because you asked, but because you earned trust through action. The man you owe yourself doesn't wait for rescue. He becomes the solution. He understands that no one is obligated to care about his goals more than he does. And instead of resenting that truth, he uses it. He builds discipline because no one will force him. He builds skill because no one will hand it to him. He builds strength because no one will carry him. Once you fully accept that no one is coming, fear loses its grip. There's nothing left to wait for, nothing left to hope for, only work to be done. And in that clarity, you stop feeling lost. You start moving with purpose. You stop surviving and start building. Responsibility doesn't limit you. It unlocks you. Pain is the price every man pays for respect, whether he chooses it or not. The difference is this: weak men suffer pain with no reward, while strong men use pain as currency to buy strength, confidence, and authority. This is the hook most people misunderstand. Pain is not the enemy. Avoiding pain is. The moment you start running from discomfort, you sign up for a lifetime of quiet regret. The moment you face it, you begin to earn something far more valuable than comfort: self-respect. Here's the truth most people won't say out loud. You will never respect yourself if your life is easy. Self-respect is forged in moments where quitting feels justified, where excuses sound reasonable, and where no one would blame you for stopping, but you continue anyway. That decision, repeated over time, rewires how you see yourself. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You start seeing yourself as capable. And once a man believes he can endure pain, fear loses its power over him. Pain is not just physical. It's waking up when your body wants sleep. It's staying focused when distraction is screaming for attention. It's training when progress feels slow. It's working when results are invisible. This kind of pain doesn't leave scars on the body. It leaves strength in the mind. And mental strength is what separates men who talk from men who dominate. Most men chase confidence without realizing confidence has a cost. You don't build confidence by repeating affirmations or waiting for success. You build it by surviving things you once thought would break you. Every time you endure discomfort without collapsing, you collect proof that you are stronger than you believed. That proof becomes confidence, real confidence, the kind that doesn't need validation or approval, that cuts deep. The pain you avoid today becomes the insecurity that controls you tomorrow. When you skip the hard work, you don't escape pain. You postpone it. And postponed pain always comes back heavier. It shows up as doubt, hesitation, low self-worth, and fear of judgment. On the other hand, the pain you choose, training, discipline, sacrifice, comes with rewards, strength, respect, stability, control. Strong men don't romanticize pain, but they don't fear it either. They understand it as a necessary transaction. You give pain, you receive power. You give effort, you receive authority over yourself. That's why disciplined men carry themselves differently. They speak less, stand firmer, and don't need to prove anything. Their presence comes from battles they've already won internally. Pain also teaches humility. It strips away ego and exposes weakness. But instead of running from that exposure, strong men use it as instruction. Pain points out where growth is required. It shows you what you lack. It tells you exactly where to apply pressure. Ignoring pain keeps you blind. Listening to it makes you precise. The world responds to men who can endure. Employers trust them. People follow them. Opportunities gravitate toward them. Not because they complain less, but because they carry weight. They've proven, through pain, that they don't fold under pressure. Respect is never given freely. It's earned through demonstrated resilience. Understand this clearly: easy wins don't change you. Struggle does. Pressure does. Pain does. Every time you push through resistance instead of backing away, you are teaching your nervous system that discomfort is survivable. That lesson alone makes you dangerous. A man who is not afraid of pain cannot be controlled by fear. The man you owe yourself is not built in moments of comfort or convenience. He is built in moments where quitting feels logical, but discipline takes over. Pain is not there to punish you. It's there to qualify you. And every time you pay that price willingly, you move closer to becoming someone you respect when you're alone, in silence, with no audience. Your life is not defined by a single breakthrough moment. It is shaped by what you do repeatedly when no one is watching. This is the hook most people overlook. They wait for a dramatic change, a sudden surge of motivation, or one big opportunity to transform everything. But men are not built in moments. They are built in patterns. What you do daily is not a habit. It is a vote for the man you are becoming. And those votes add up whether you are paying attention or not. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Consistency exposes who you really are. Anyone can perform once. Anyone can start strong. Very few can repeat disciplined behavior day after day without applause, without immediate results, and without emotional excitement. That repetition is where identity is formed. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You sink to the level of your daily standards. If your standards are low, your life will reflect that reality no matter how big your dreams are. Daily actions remove self-deception. You can't lie to yourself when your routine is weak. You can't claim ambition while your actions show avoidance. The mirror of daily behavior is honest, and it forces accountability. That's why many men avoid structure. They don't want to confront the truth of their own inconsistency. But the man you owe yourself embraces that truth and uses it as fuel, not shame. Small actions feel insignificant, which is why they're so powerful. One workout doesn't change your body. One focused hour doesn't change your career. One disciplined decision doesn't change your life. But repeated daily, they create momentum that becomes unstoppable. Momentum is not dramatic, but it is ruthless. Once it starts, it carries you forward even on days you feel weak. That's how disciplined men keep winning without relying on emotion. That cuts deep. Your future is being built right now, even if you're not consciously working on it. Every day, you either reinforce strength or reinforce weakness. There is no neutral. The decision to scroll instead of train, to delay instead of act, to excuse instead of execute, those are not harmless choices. They are bricks. And over time, they build a prison or a platform. Daily discipline also simplifies life. When your actions are consistent, you eliminate decision fatigue. You don't debate with yourself. You don't negotiate. You follow the system you've already committed to. That mental clarity frees energy for execution. Chaos drains you. Structure empowers you. This is why high-performing men protect their routines aggressively. They understand that routines protect their standards. Your identity is not what you say you are. It is what you repeatedly do. A man who trains daily becomes strong. A man who learns daily becomes sharp. A man who works daily becomes valuable. There is no mystery in success. The formula is boring, repetitive, and brutally effective. Most people fail not because the path is hard, but because it lacks excitement. They want transformation without repetition. That never lasts. Daily actions also build self-trust. Every time you do what you said you would do, you reinforce reliability within yourself. That reliability becomes confidence, not the loud kind, not the performative kind, but quiet certainty, the kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that remains steady under pressure. A man who trusts himself doesn't hesitate. He moves with intent. The man you owe yourself is created through ordinary days executed with extraordinary consistency. No drama, no waiting, no shortcuts, just standards enforced daily. When you understand that who you become is decided by what you do every day, you stop chasing motivation and start building inevitability. And inevitability is what separates men who hope from men who arrive. So here's the line in the sand. Either you keep living as a compromise or you become the man you owe yourself. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, you don't need permission. You don't need applause. You need discipline, consistency, and the courage to stop lying to yourself. Because one day, you will look back at this moment, and the only question that will matter is this: did you rise or did you stay comfortable? Choose wisely.